This might come as a shock to you, but there are some foods that the experts won't eat. I'm going to expose these foods right now and save you from these mistakes and an early death. As an expert, I do my best to avoid foods that are dangerous, but some of these foods, you wouldn't have a clue as to how dangerous they really are. The scary part is that these foods are some of the most consumed on the planet. I'm Patrick McGuire, founder of Empowered Nutrition. I'm coached to over 55,000 fat loss and muscle building professional athletes, Hollywood stars, and average Joes and Janes just like you and me. Here's just a few of them. So with that, here we go. 7 foods the experts won't eat. Number 1, canned tomatoes. The expert, Frederick von Saal, is an endocrinologist at the University of Missouri who studies bisphenol A. The situation: the resin linings of tin cans contain bisphenol A, a synthetic estrogen that has been linked to ailments ranging from reproductive problems to heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. Unfortunately, acidity, a prominent characteristic of tomatoes, causes BPA to leach into your food. Studies show that BPA in most people's body exceeds the amount that suppresses sperm production or causes chromosomal damage to the eggs of animals. You can get 50 micrograms of BPA per liter out of a tomato can, and that level is going to impact people, particularly in the young, says Vaughan. I won't go near canned tomatoes. The answer? Choose tomatoes in glass bottles, which do not need resin linings, such as the brands BioNature, Colico, many others. You can also get several types in Tetra Paks or boxes, like Trader Joe's and Pommy. Number 2, corn-fed beef. The expert, Joel Salatin, co-owner of Polyface Farms and author of a half-dozen books on sustainable farming. The situation? Cattle evolved to eat grass, not grains. But farmers today feed their animals corn and soybeans, which fatten up the animals faster for slaughter. More money for cattle farmers and lower prices at the grocery store means a lot less nutrition for us. A recent comprehensive study conducted by the USDA and researchers from Clemson University found that compared with corn-fed beef, grass-fed beef is higher in beta-carotene, vitamin E, omega-3s, conjugated linoleic acid, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. They're lower in inflammatory omega-6s and lower in saturated fats that are being linked to heart disease. We need to respect the fact that cows are herbivores, and that does not mean feeding them corn and chicken manure. The answer? Buy grass-fed beef, which can be found at specialty grocery farmer markets, and nationally at Whole Foods and other chains of the same nature of natural organics. It's usually labeled because it demands a premium, but if you don't see it, ask your butcher. Number 3, microwave popcorn. The expert, Olga Nadenko, a senior scientist for the Environmental Working Group. The situation? Chemicals including PFOAs in the lining of a bag are part of a class of compounds that may be linked to infertility in humans, according to a recent study from UCLA. In animal testing, the chemicals cause liver, testicular, and pancreatic cancer. Studies show that microwaving causes the chemicals to vaporize and migrate into your popcorn. They stay in your body for years and accumulate there, says Nadenko, which is why researchers worry that levels in humans could approach the amounts causing cancers in laboratory animals. DuPont and other manufacturers have promised to phase out PFOAs by 2015 under a voluntary EPA plan, but millions of bags of popcorn will be sold between now and then. The solution? Pop natural kernels the old-fashioned way, in a skillet, or even a hot air popper. For flavorings, you can add real butter or dried seasonings such as dillweed, vegetable flakes, or soup mix. Hey, good old salt and pepper could work too. Number 4, conventionally grown, not organic, potatoes. The expert, Jeffrey Moyer, chair of the National Organic Standards Board. The situation? Root vegetables. Root vegetables absorb herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides that wind up in the soil. In the case of potatoes, the nation's most popular vegetable, they're treated with fungicides during the growing season, then sprayed with herbicides to kill off the fibrous vines before harvesting. And after they're dug up, the potatoes are treated yet again to prevent them from sprouting. Try this experiment. Buy a conventional potato in a store and try to get it to sprout. It won't, says Moyer. And a few tests of my own says it won't either. Who's also the farm director of the Rodale Institute. Yeah, also owned by Rodale Inc., the publisher of Prevention. I've talked with potato growers who say point blank they would never eat the potatoes they sell. They have separate plots where they grow potatoes for themselves and their families without all the chemicals. The answer? Buy organic potatoes. Washing them isn't good enough if you're trying to remove chemicals that are being absorbed into the flesh of the potato. Number 5, farmed salmon. The expert, David Carpenter, director of the Institute for Health and the Environment at the University of Albany and publisher of a major study in the journal Science on Contamination in Fish. The situation? Nature didn't intend for salmon to be crammed into pens and fed soy, poultry litter, and hydrolyzed chicken feathers. As a result, farmed salmon is lower in vitamin D and higher in contaminants including carcinogens, PCBs, brominated flame retardants, and pesticides such as dioxin and DDT. Yeah, that's that Agent Orange stuff they used back in the wars. According to Carpenter, the most contaminated fish come from Northern Europe, which can be found on American menus. You can only safely eat one of these salmon dinners every 5 months without increasing your risk of cancer, says Carpenter, whose 2004 fish contamination study got broad media attention. Yeah, it's that bad. Preliminary science has also linked DDT to diabetes and obesity, but some nutritionists believe the benefits of omega-3s outweigh the risks. Yeah, right. There's also concern about the high level of antibiotics and pesticides used to treat these fish. When you eat farmed salmon, you get dosed with the same drugs and chemicals. The answer? Switch to wild-caught Alaska salmon. If the package says fresh Atlantic, it's farmed. There are no commercial fisheries left for wild Atlantic salmon. Number 6, milk produced with artificial hormones. The expert, Rick North, project director of the Campaign for Safe Food at the Oregon Physicians for Social Responsibility and former CEO of the Oregon Division of American Cancer Society. The situation? Milk producers treat their dairy cattle with recombinant bovine growth hormone, or RBGH, or RBST, as it's also known, to boost milk production. But RBGH also increases udder infections and even pus in the milk. It also leads to higher levels of a hormone called insulin-like growth factor in milk. In people, high levels of IGF-1 may contribute to breast cancer, prostate, and colon cancers. When the government approved RBGH, it was thought that IGF-1 from milk would be broken down in the human digestive tract, says North. As it turns out, the casein in milk protects most of it, according to several independent studies. There's not 100% proof that this is increasing cancer in humans. This is admitted by North. However, it's banned in most industrialized countries. The answer? Check labels for RBGH-free, RBST-free, produced without artificial hormones, or organic milk. These phrases indicate RBGH-free products. Me, I'm going with the organic. Number 7, conventional apples. The expert, Mark Kestel, former executive for agribusiness and co-director of the Cornucopia Institute, a farm policy research group that supports organic foods. The situation? If fall fruits held a most dosed in pesticides contest, apples would win. Why? They're individually grafted, descended from a single tree, so that each variety maintains its distinctive flavor. Yeah, that's right. Apple's family tree goes straight down. As such, apples don't develop resistance to pests and are sprayed frequently. The industry maintains that these residues are not harmful, but Kestel counters that it is just common sense to minimize exposure by avoiding the most dosed produce like apples. Farm workers have higher rates of many cancers, he says. And increasing numbers of studies are starting to link a higher body burden of pesticides from all sources with Parkinson's disease. The answer, buy organic apples. If you can't afford organic, be sure to wash and peel them first. So, like they say, you can't judge a book by its cover. You certainly can't judge your food by how good it should be for you. The choice to go organic is yours, but I find our family converting more and more to organic as new research comes out. It's scary. If you are on a fat loss or muscle building quest, the first thing you need is a game plan. That plan must start with nutrition and fitness. For the internet's #1 most swipe meal plans, follow the link below for a special offer and a complete set of healthy meal plans that deliver powerful, proven results. I'm Patrick McGuire from Empowered Nutrition, saying thank you very much. Take care, stay healthy, choose wisely. The best choice you can make for you and your family is organic.